Hello, you awesome people, and welcome to our December pre-Christmas live webinar. It's an absolute pleasure. Now, tonight's live webinar is all about creating your 2016 profitable business and marketing plan. Very exciting to have such a great turnout tonight. It was quite funny. The awesome Michael was in as the first one, and everyone else has all jumped in. So welcome to the glowing crowd of people that we have here. It's all a pleasure having you here. Now, just a few things. This is a live webinar aimed to go for probably about half an hour to 45 minutes. I try and get through as much as I can as quickly as possible. And you have a chat box. So you've got a beautiful little chat box. It should be the top right-hand corner of your screen, and you can ask questions in real time. So I just said hello there to all of you. And if you're watching the recording of this in hindsight, that's awesome too. You can email me, contact me, and take it all from there. Anyway, good evening. It is an absolute pleasure having you here and getting straight into the content. The point of tonight's webinar is to talk about planning for your very profitable 2016. Now, this is a general webinar with general educational content. I'm a certified practicing marketer, which holds me the highest levels of standards. So if you got, this is in itself, this is general advice and education. If you got any particular questions or anything like that, please just ask me. Here to help, and I'd love to support you however I can. Now, what I'd like to do is there's a lot of really good reasons that you should pay attention, okay? One of the very good reasons being is that it's a really good webinar. What I mean by that is that this webinar I've actually done many times before in different forms. I've taken different viewpoints on it. I've actually done it live in front of many people in live audiences. And this actual webinar and what I'm actually teaching has been the result of many changes, many updates, and a lot of refinement and improvement. And I only teach the best of the best. This webinar is free. It's completely on the house. And it is a very good one. And if you're a Vault member or a client, feel free to stay back at the end. We can have a bit of Q&A and discuss what you're working on and make it as great as for you as possible. Now, everything we're teaching tonight is all about helping you grow, succeed, and prosper. Get more profitable, high-value clients, get the business you seek, and, of course, helping you and your family get the income that you deserve. Now, a few people know me on the line. It's I can see you there, Bruce. Hello, Bruce. A few people know me on the line, and quite a few people don't. So just give me a bit of information about me. My name's Edward Zero. I'm an ex-military, ex-corporate marketing director. I've worked with hundreds personally, and I've worked with thousands over the years. So I've been very blessed to work in that situation. I focus on getting marketing and business strategy right to help my clients get more high-value clients. And as a recap as well, I do a lot of charity work. I'm the Knight in the Order of St. John. I was a marketing manager at the age of 24. And my blog has actually been visited. This is about 6 months old, actually. About 6 months ago, it was visited over 40,000 times. So it's great being a blogger and having some absolutely leading content, which goes out and helps lots of people. Now, getting straight into the content, I'm here to talk to you to help you plan your awesome 2016. I just want to give a bit of insight into what strategic planning actually is and how it can actually relate to what you're looking at. Now, strategic planning and business planning are basically concepts that actually date back to warfare. So in the old days of the world, basically what it was one side attacking the other side. So two big armies thrashing it out. So originally, that's where a lot of military and modern warfare actually came from. Now, talking about business today in the boardroom, more in corporate situations, the way it actually works is that in big companies, quite often the focus is very much Coke versus Pepsi, Microsoft versus Apple. There's sort of two sides, and both people are out trying to basically destroy each other. Now, the thing that I want to sort of get across here and talking to you awesome small business owners is that this is not so much what small business is about, okay? So and I'm not here to talk about SWOT analyses and, complex plans, because it's not really going to help any of us. And the big thing that I found is when I originally learned a lot of business planning, marketing planning, and that high-level type approach, you can write 60-page documents. Even some of the big companies, they can write business and marketing plans which are hundreds of pages. The reality is that as small business owners, it doesn't do us a whole lot of good. It's about us having a very simple, streamlined format that we can use, that we can basically get a lot of value of and actually use to help grow our business. Now, I'm going to go through that template tonight. If you haven't got it already, feel free to email me or contact me at the end and I can send you a copy of it. Now, these are a few key questions I have for you, and this is what I really want you to think through as I go through the plan. Where do you want to be 1 year from now in your business? What do you want to get? How do you want to go about it? What ideas do you have? What opportunities do you have? What challenges are out there? How much would you like to earn? And what's the level of speed and focus and time pressure you have to achieve this? And the reason why I'm sort of going through all these is that when you're actually coming up with your marketing plan and planning for the future, it's very important to think through from a range of viewpoints. You really need to think through exactly what you want and how you want to achieve the results in your business. And I'll use this as an example. I know if you're listening to this webinar, you're completely on board with me. You're all for business and marketing planning. And here's the example that I like to use. In sporting, especially high-level professional sports, there's a lot of money on the table. And those teams do ridiculous amounts of planning to make sure they perform as well as they can during a game. And the other example is schooling. When you're at school, you don't just pick random subjects. You pick subjects that are very valuable to you. And this is really me talking to you here. I want you to really think about your business, coming up with a really strong plan that is built to help you. So you know exactly what direction you're going with. You know the edge that you have in your business. It's about turning anxiety and fear into productivity. And there's, at the end of the day, even though the big companies do planning on a much bigger scale and usually put a lot more energy into it, there's a reason why they plan, because it helps make a company more successful. Now, as an entrepreneur, we have a crazy minds by conventional standards. You know, we can think crazy things. A lot of things go through our minds, and planning is basically the process where we combine the intangible ideas with the process and planning to help you achieve results. So that's what I love about planning. It's this strange hybrid of high-level creative thinking combined with what we're going to do every week to make it happen. And this is the big thing. This is why I recommend the 1 to 3 page format. The plan is a tool that is here to help you, okay? Now, just so the record, I know plenty of self-made millionaires who've never ever written a business or marketing plan before. And equally speaking, I've known startups to have 100-page business plans, never to get their business off the ground. So the thing I want to emphasize here is that this is not about telling you what to do, or you have to write this, or have to do that. That is completely not the case at all. The idea is the plan exists as a tool to serve you. If you need 100 pages, I think you shouldn't write that many, but please go read 100 pages. If writing no pages suits you and it's in the back of your mind and you're very good that way, then please don't write a plan. The idea is taking these ideas and coming up with a plan that suits you. Now, this awesome man in the picture here, the man named Greg Hudson, he's a retired high-end marketing mentor that taught me some amazing things. This is actually his plan. This is actually what he sent me once and what he often uses with small business owners. And I ironically got a Christmas card for him today. And what I love about this plan template is that it's lean and it's powerful and very effective. Now, I'm actually going to take you through the structure of the plan and why I think it's really good and why I like it. And this is one of my old plans. This is written in 2014, so it's quite out of date. But I like to leave it in there because A, I like looking back and reflecting on what I was like then. But B, to me, it's a really cool thing. It's a good example to help you plan yours. Now, there's 3 bits of paper that I kind of want to go through, okay? And this is all in the template. If you don't have it, you can just email me afterwards and I can send you a link with the details in there. There's 3 pages, and this is page 1. Your business and marketing plan for 2016, being it's 2016 basically now, being mid-December. You have one. The first thing is your business statement, your vision, and your next year goal. Now, in this section, it's great to put in what you want to achieve in your business and where you want it to be 12 months from now, okay? The second part is key success factors and areas to be cautious of. These are basically your issues. These are the things that you've basically stuffed up, things you haven't done very well. And it's not saying, like in my case, I'm pretty good these days, but in those days, you didn't used to be the best at financial management. And my website took a lot of time to get done. That's all fixed now, but in hindsight, that was the challenge I was going through. It's not so much saying this is your problem. It's actually the solution to your problem worded in a positive manner. Very important. It's a great thing to have in there. And the third part is some information on the actual detail on what you're going to do, okay, to sort of give the plan substance. Now, this is page 1. This is basically the business overview, one page, but make no mistake, it's a very powerful page. I'm going to go through each 3 of these sections now in a bit of detail, okay? First one, business statement, vision, and next year goal. Now, you can probably read that depending on whether you're using a phone or a PC. You should be able to read this. And just running through it, basically what I have here is I talk about the direction of my business. It's interesting going back and reading this and looking at what I've achieved. Basically, it talks about my business and personal goals is to build on strengths, carve out a spot as a sales and marketing thought leader, and it also talks about how much money I want to earn. In this case, I've made reference to my online residual income, which is going great. So what I recommend for each of you is you want to write basically a soft statement saying, this is where I want the business to be. This is how I want to do it. And this is how much money I want to see myself earning a year from now. And it's good. Whenever you say how much money you're going to earn, then it comes down to the actual mechanics of how you're going to achieve that. 2 is the success factors and areas to be cautious of. Now, I really love this one in the respect that online is very important, okay? And in my scenario, online means a lot to me. And at the time, my website was going nowhere and it wasn't being released too well. Now it's really good. And as an example, this is the way that I worded the key success factor. As online is a key vehicle, the key supplier of Minduct must be working effectively, quickly, dealing with bugs, updates, and issues as quickly as possible, okay? As I referenced before, these days I'm really good with money. At the time, I quite wasn't. And basically, I would send out invoices. I wouldn't follow up that people have paid me or not. And the business just I would have, let's say, 15 grand of invoices outstanding and like $500 in my bank account. Not very intelligent. And the way I fix that and the way I would word it in this case is a key success factor would be, instead of saying I'm shitty with money, it would be, the business requires strong financial management, keeping an eye on the books, and support from the accountant, okay? So when I word it in that positive, it makes it doable, it makes things achievable, okay? So think about what you haven't done so well in your business. In your case, you may not have been accountable to anyone, you may not have stuck on track, and it may not have given you the results that you've had. Either way, it's good to word the solution to it here. So basically, this is the solutions to your problems. And then you have a bit of detail on the actual tactical initiatives and what you have going on. Now, in this scenario, at the time, it was launch 3 workshops, speak at high-end events, and restructure my life and do a lot of Facebook. Did all that, and it's gone really well. So it's quite funny how all of that played out. And it's interesting reflecting back on these old information as I do this. So as a quick recap, page 1. You got your business statement, vision, next year goal, your key success factors, and some detail on this year's tactical initiatives. Really important, something you really want to get through, okay? And I'll do a recap at the end as well. Page 2, this one's pretty straightforward. This is quite simple, and this is more the actual projects of what you actually need to do. So what we recommend is the 30, 60, 90, and 120 days. So basically 90 days of activities. And what's important, the reality is that we've got projects to do in your business. And at the time that I set this up and I did this example, well, it actually wasn't an example, it was what I was doing. I worked out what I must do within 30 days, what can wait till 30 to 60 days, and what I can sort of do 60 to 90 days and what can go on the back burner. The reason being is that the last thing you want to do is turn around and say, oh my God, let's say you got 10 things to do. In terms of doing that and running your business, you'll be lucky if you do 3 to 4 in a month, depending on what they are. So it's good to prioritize exactly what your business needs and what is the key issue. Absolutely critical. So in my scenario, right, within 30 days, at this time, it was launch an updated version of my online product. It was get lead pages going. It was update my sales funnel and get my heavier Facebook campaign going. I did all that. So it was good doing that. And then within 60 days, it was more refinements and that type of thing. So it could be wherever you're at. You might need a new logo. You might need a new website. You might need to join a networking group. You might need to hire a coach or something, or hire me, yay, or whatever the case may be. Basically, these are the different things that you need to do to give you the results that you need. But the idea is working out what happens within 30, 60, and 90 days. Very straightforward, and a lot of companies do it, and I like to review this every month. Good thing to do. Oh, and just so you know, people do it differently. Some people do it in Excel spreadsheets, and everyone has their own unique take on this sort of format. Okay, so it's really good. Just a bit more information there on it. Now, page 3. This is my most favorite piece of paper. Okay, and if you know me in the real world, and I'll say awesome Bruce does, right? It's good having you on the line tonight, Bruce. This piece of paper is very important to me. This is the one piece of paper which is basically your Bible in terms of what you have to do every week. So what we've done is we've looked at the business from a higher level. We've worked out what we need to do. We've worked out how much money we want to make and all that great sort of stuff. And we paid some attention into the actual initiatives to do that. This one here is actually the weekly behaviors that it's going to take to achieve that result. Okay? So it's all right to say, I want to earn 20 grand a month or whatever. But you're probably not going to do that by just sitting at home and not using social media in this world. So if you look at my plan here, for example, then this is done at the time. I would go to 2 networking events every week. I'd meet 2 people a week. I do 7 blog posts. I do posts on Facebook. I do a Friday newsletter. So you can see this little shopping list of what I would actually do to achieve results in my business. And it went really well, okay? So this is very important. This is that powerful one page that I really do recommend, and I recommend you do write it down. Some people mentally can do it well, but I don't recommend it. It's good to write it down and have a very consistent plan of action that you follow to achieve results in your business, okay? And it's just some information on what I did. And just so you know what I did in that case, I'll go to 2 networking events a week. I have 2 coffee chats a week. I give referrals, blog posts, Facebook posts, all this cool sort of stuff. Okay, and here's the other thing. It's good to have a mission for the quarter. So for that actual quarter, and it might be, let's say, usually I just do the BAS periods in Australia. So it would be, January to March. It would be April to June. It would be July to September, October to December, that type of thing, okay? So it's good to have a theme. So at that time, it was continue working with premium clients. I used to run the 4 networking business community then and build online sales and success with automation. Okay, so this is what I think is a really good format, okay? And it's a quick recap, and I'm just going to go through some considerations too. Page 1 is the business and marketing plan. It's a business statement, vision and mission, your key success factors, and a bit of detail on your tactical initiatives. 2 is the 90-day action plan, which is very good. Help you prioritize what's important. 3, my favorite, is the weekly activities, what you need to do to make it all happen. Now, just to let you know, have a think about that, and please ask me your questions. Feel free to type in questions to the chat box. Love to answer your questions. Just to let you know, there are thousands of formats of doing business and marketing plans and all that out there. And at business.gov.au, you can get the Australian government recommended version of doing business and marketing planning. I don't usually recommend that for running your own business, but that often is used for, let's say, going for bank funding or if you're going for investor money. So usually with the 60-page business plans that, take months to write and have been read by amazing people and checked off, that's usually for bank or funding approval or investor approval. Whereas the 3-page format is what you can actually use to run your enterprise. Very good for entrepreneurs of less than 10 staff. Very, very good for that, okay? There's heaps of formats out there. My advice is please don't get overwhelmed with the formats, because what it can be easy to do is you can be obsessed with writing a marketing plan, and I don't want anyone doing this, right? And I've done this once. You don't want to spend, all these weeks writing a marketing plan for it not to be used, which is why simplicity in power is the best, hence why we recommend that format, okay? You might need 50 pages, 10 pages might be good for you. Doesn't matter. 0 pages might be good for you. Doesn't matter. Pick what suits you. And while you're considering that, I want to go through just a few questions. Just want to ask you some questions, okay? And this is more to help you think of what you want for next year. What's your goal for next year? What did you totally stuff up? What did you totally nail? What unexpected threats hit you? What unexpected wins came out of the woodwork? And why did this all happen? So sometimes we get lucky, sometimes we get unlucky, which is life in Sydney, as I call it, if you're from Sydney. But why did it all happen? It's good to think that through. It's good to ask yourself those key salient questions. Also, what else is happening in your industry? What are your worthy competitors up to? What have you seen your competitors totally win or stuff up? What are your favorite companies? What are your favorite clients, your avatar clients? Now I want to stop on that one. And this has been a big key thing that we've had lately. And it's affected my business earlier on in the year. It's affected a lot of people's businesses. It's really important that we just don't have clients. We've got to have the right clients, and we've got to make sure that we're targeting the right people. Now, if I can digress for a second, I just want to digress this for a second and just pay some homage to this one. I used to help run the 4 Networking business community. Awesome business network, which I used to run and I used to get quite involved in. As time passed and I got a little bit too big for the place, I was moved on from there, which is great. No longer on the team. And basically these are great networking breakfasts full of amazing people. However, a lot of them were sole operators. They weren't necessarily from larger businesses. And what I actually started finding over time is, as my own business evolved, I found, even though I met awesome people in those smaller networking sort of breakfasts, my actual ideal clients were more in the business chambers. They were more, usually they'd have a few staff or something like that, okay? At least a couple of staff. Usually anything from 3 to 10 staff would seem to be my ideal clients. So I actually found that by, let's say, working the business chamber networking events more, I was able to meet more potential optimum clients for me, and that significantly helped me increase my revenue by picking up the right people, okay? So it's very important. You want to make sure, and to me, I've actually turned around a lot of businesses just by this issue. Very common for me. They've got great products, great services, they're all well priced, but they're selling it to the wrong people. So I just want to it's just a salient point. I know, again, this is a business and marketing plan webinar, but that is a critical point. I just really want to cover on that one. The other one is, what do you average at? What do you do averagely? What do you really excel at? What type of client do you like to have? Can you increase your prices fairly? What new technology and products do you have? What's the market going, and what are the realistic results? How does this fit in with your goals? How would you like to see yourself 1 or even 2 years later? What new ideas that you've come up with? And what new technology do you think you have that'll help you stay ahead? And there you go. So I'm just going to go through some closing remarks. This has been a powerful, fast webinar, which has been awesome. I want to go through 7 key points. Come up with something realistic but challenging in your plan. It's good to have a good stretch. Make sure it's sustainable. You don't want to come up with a crazy plan that drives you insane after 3 months. Push yourself a little bit, but don't go too much. Plan for problems and expect them. Be sensitive to wins. Try and understand why things happen. Watch for the trends and do it for yourself. Okay? And all you need is one great idea to take from this webinar, and you can implement it tomorrow for massive results. So that's the actual end of the actual webinar itself. What I'm going to do is actually just give some commentary to some key points and just key marketing strategies that are to help you. And I'm just going to be doing this verbally, so please listen up and take notes, and feel free to ask me any questions. A lot of people are asking me, Edward, what are you doing now what actual marketing strategies are you using, and what do you find works personally well for you? And Edward, do you find works personally well for your clients? And I'm just going to reel off the top strategies that works incredibly well for us, and me and my clients. Now, it may or may not, some of them may or may not suit you. That's worth a note, okay? So I'm just going to go through it all right now. And don't you love it when the phone rings while you're doing a webinar? It's fun. That's all right. My better half answered it. She's awesome. The first thing is, of the top marketing strategies that we found, going to the right networking events is critical. So business networking is a great strategy, but you have to be going to places where people have money, okay? Very important. 2, LinkedIn's very good for networking with people and connecting with people and building relationships. 3, the old-fashioned coffee chat's amazing. When you go networking, you're not just there just to meet people, just to, pick them up as clients, but you're there to make connections, meet people for coffee. And when you meet people for coffee one-on-one, you then deepen the relationship. And if there's a fit of your services and their requirements, there could be a good sale there for you. Okay. 4, Facebook video is amazing. That's something that I'm using a lot of, as a few of you have probably already noted. It's been absolutely amazing and phenomenal for my business. Highly recommended. The next one, which I really love and admire, live webinars are a great strategy. Live workshops are a great strategy, depending on what you're doing. Absolutely great strategy. Email marketing is brilliant, sending out regular emails and staying connected with people. And depending on some industries, this doesn't suit everyone, but I have some clients that do this very well. Again, I'm not suggesting it for everyone, but if you're in a niche or something like that, telemarketing and appointment setting can work very well. So be it you get a virtual assistant from Australia or overseas, and you use them to, basically ring up people and get you high value appointments. That can work very well too. That's a really good one. There's some of the main ones. And of course, making sure you have a great website, and that's all working, okay? So they're just some of the main strategies that we love. And of course, blogging. Love blogging. Blogging works incredibly well for me. It's been a very great part of my business. So there you go. These are just some top ideas that have worked incredibly well for me and my clients, and I just want to share them with you. And I hope they can really help you. So as a recap, what I'd ask all of you to do tonight, or if you're listening to the recording of this webinar, take one great idea that you've heard and take action on it. Because if you just come here and just listen to my ideas and learn a few things, you're only going to make money and succeed if you take action on something you've learned. So just take one thing that you've learned, but take action on it and look at the fantastic results. And I think it'll be a great one for you. So there you go. You've been an awesomely quiet audience, a very attentive audience. I know that all you guys are keeping a close eye on things. I can tell through the awesome features of Citrix GoToWebinar. And you've been a quiet audience, which is great. It must be, hopefully you're soaking it all up. But if you've got any questions, now's the time to ask me. So yeah, just a quick one. If you are a client, thank you for your support. It's great having you here. If not, if you're a visitor to my awesome community, love you to check out two things. Check out my website at excellenceabove.com.au. I've got an online mentoring program for just $97 a month. It gives you great access to videos, content, information. Also, as well, it involves email access to me and the team. So it's a great way for just $97 a month of getting access to me via email, but also access to amazing videos and content in our Knowledge Vault. Great product, which I'm very excited about. And of course, as well, if you're like, no, Ed, I don't want that. I want to go really for the top shelf stuff. We can have private mentoring together starting at $550 plus GST per month, which is just fantastic. So yeah, usually what I suggest to people is check out the awesome Marketing Vault first, and people either buy it or they turn around and say, depending on where they're at and how fast they want to move, nah, Ed, I'm just going to get you one-on-one, which is really, I think, the good way of doing it. So as a recap, the Vault's a great way of sort of learning slowly and building your knowledge and having access to me to test ideas. But the private mentoring is the heavy stuff that gets the fast results. So there you go. Thank you for being such a great audience. Just wanted to thank Spock, Fallout, Martha Arafin, and I just want to basically thank the people and the companies where I've used awesome images in this presentation. I really do appreciate it. That's Vault Blue there on the right, getting roses thrown at him. So there you go. You've been a great audience, a very quiet and solemn audience, which is just fantastic. So what I'm going to do, this has been recorded, this webinar, so I will be uploading it to YouTube tonight. And if you are signed up to this, you'll have this, the recording emailed to you as well, which is really cool. So thank you. It's been an absolute honor having you here tonight. There's my website there. Feel free to Google Edwards here. Working with you guys is an absolute pleasure. So I'm going to stop recording now, but I ask you to do this one thing. Think carefully about what you've learned tonight and take action immediately. Love your work, awesome people, and I'll talk to you all soon.